Sunday morning, and I'm glad I don't have to do all that sealing. So this is the one where there's been a leak. The business above had the leak and came through over a weekend, and luckily for my customer, none of the ceiling has come down. There's no damage to the ceiling apart from starting from about here, running right the way through. There's a stain where you can just pick up that watermark running here straight through, just up to level with this pillar. So this job I originally did about 7 years ago, and was all burr plaster. There was no flooring, it was a concrete floor, and these walls were sealed with diluted PVA. 2 coats of soft sheen on the walls, and like I say, it's hairdressers. No problems, none whatsoever. Never had a problem here. This paper that I put on a few years ago, there was a leak from outside, damaged all the ceiling on this side, water stain, and the paper down this side. So luckily the customer had paper left over, and I was able to replace, I think it was possibly 2 lengths on that side, either 1 or 2 lengths, can't remember now, it's quite a while back, let's say about 3 years, but that's looking good, that's looking fine. This thing as well, I remember this thing was originally white, and then we sprayed it up, did the countertop white, grey, and finished black at the bottom. That sits well there. So the paper, all the painting was done first, and I had that wall to do as well down there, but with the doorway sitting like it is and that fire exit sign above, I had to balance the paper out. So it was either do it on the bench and work it out, or, because I had the separate wall to paper, I was able to paper this first, and then simply from that end then I took all my measurements, working out where the door would be in situ in this lot, and then got the paper on down that end. So I'll just take a little look at that paper there. When I was here pricing that leak, the water leak, the stain on that other end, I was just having a little look round at the work, so see how that balanced, nice. I was having a little look round, and up in this corner, you see there, see that water stain? Just sitting here. So there's another one there, which this hasn't been priced for yet. And luckily, the paper hasn't been damaged. So this other side, just look through here. So this is the other back edge of that stain, and from the corner there, running through, there's about 2 or 3 inches of stain coming out onto the ceiling. And on this side, look at this here, see that dripping down the wall, there's some there. So then slight staining again, running along the edge of the ceiling, and then just running out here. So there's some issues above which they need to address. So I'll be pricing this lot again, No idea what that is. I did have a look at that. It almost looks wet, but it's not. It's sticky, possibly sugary. I've not actually touched it. I'm not going to go anywhere near it. I have no idea what that is. But with a cloth, I touch those drips and they're solid. Like I say, syrupy, sugary. No idea what it is. Anyway. Oh yeah. These doors. You may possibly remember these doors. I think my brother did these. I think he did all the woodwork throughout. Because originally when I came in to do this, the customer wanted an oil gloss. So that's what went on. And obviously, over time, it's yellowed. There's no windows in this end whatsoever. So yeah, they've stood up well. And they're quite high traffic areas, because we have a toilet here. This was, again, the water-based gloss. Like I say, high traffic areas, because all this gear, these dryers and different tables and whatnot for when they're doing the dyes, all that gets pushed through this lot. So the odd mark on the door, not too bad. And again on this corner, I think the trolleys go round. Well, all in all, not too. Well, apart from the leak at that end of the ceiling, which sort of like runs through, I've got here on these basins, I've been asked to just have a look at this. There's water getting underneath, and they're using all this lot. And if I look underneath and tilt this up, loose. It's all loose at the back. So I'll back it all off and get some sealant in that. Also, these units in the corner, the gap running up, I've been asked to close this up. When these were fitted, try and get in there to show you where you can see that there, oh, just there, one screw that's barely coming through the end of that MDF there, which would have been fitted into the other side. It's just pulled out. So it doesn't take much to close it up, but that screw is just not good enough. I think what's been happening is every time the door's getting shut, the shock is working through. I mean, these have been put together quite bad, really. There should be a bracket on that back wall. Whole lot's shifting. So I think what I will do is I'll use that existing hole and I'll widen it up and I'll pop a nut and bolt through there, some washers, and draw that together, and then on top I'll just put a strip of wood and fix it in. That should hold it. But really it does want possibly even a batten running up that wall and then fixing into just a bracket. Anyway, get some stuff on that ceiling. This lot can be getting done as some of that's drying. First thing I need to do, I've got my bin brushes in here, bin primer brushes. Gone hard. Got a roller in the bottom of there as well, which I need to use. So before I start removing any lampshades and things like that, I'll just put some methylated spirits in there. Put that lid on. I'll leave them and then get some sheeting up done and get them shades off. Just wipe this, moving him up first. Because I say there was no damage on the ceiling, nothing, none of this dropped through. all the water was coming through here. And there is a bit of a stain running along and slightly around here. So I'll do all this area as well. Any dust in there? I've opened the primer and I've stirred this up. Now that's already started to soften up. That's okay. So not really going to need a lot. Work that brush in there. That's okay. Get a lid on this. That can go back in there. And now, with our liquid, let's get this roller out of here. Work that up, and I'm good to go. I'll cut round the ceiling ropes first. Feather them edges a little bit. So now, I'll pop this in here, because I don't need it, let's say. When I wipe back, I'm okay. So this ceiling was rolled this way, working across, working back, away from the light. So that's how I'm going to work this primer. Well, this has been over a month drying this ceiling. Actually, I can see it running off that way as well. If I can't get it, I'm not going to overreach. Don't want to be falling here. I'm on my own and I'm over a solid floor. That's okay. Now I can tackle this. Tilt that forward. So I'll undo it all, lift that up as much as I can and clean it with the methylated spirits. And then while that's drying, I can get the emulsion prep ready and then I'll put some silicone in this. I'll see how it goes anyway, because I might have to put 2 coats on that. So while that's drying, I can be doing this and then I'll sit and get some emulsion on. Yeah, there's a rubber seal, it's all come loose here. Get it cleaned up. Just methylated spirits, make sure that all this is clean. I've already cleaned around the basin, just give it this the final white there. And then this rubber seal underneath, clean that up as well. It's just not been tightened up correctly, and I think over time it's just come loose. Wants to naturally sit forward, then I'll seal the back edge first and then work on that front. And once I fasten all this up, then I'll be able to remove any excess. Hopefully that rubber will stay where it is while I do this. It off. Although it's rubber, still going over the top with this. That's a lot more solid. The last little bit around this side to clean off. Make sure there's no residue, nothing left. Alright, that's okay that now. What I'm doing now. That's the paint thoroughly stirred up, and I've taken one of my stockings on it to filter this. So this is Valspar Matte. Always feathering that off. Well, I didn't really use too much out of there. There's enough in there for me to finish this section of ceiling if need be. So that bit of a sheen on the ceiling is exactly where the primer was. So literally running here through a little bit across here. So that'll take a bit longer to dry than the rest of the ceiling. But I did only work a strip. So I'll leave that to go off, and if need be, I'll have to give all this section a coat. I've just been taking a look at this, and what I thought was a screw through the side, fixing into the other side, is actually the screw for this bracket. So whoever put this in has just put a slightly longer screw to pull these together. Oh, again. Anyway, there's not a lot of weight in this. So what I've decided to do, I'm not going to use the nut and bolt. I've got a piece of timber, got some screws which I've checked and won't burst through the bottom of here. I've got a good 1/4 of an inch before they'll come through. And what I will do is I'll lay this across the joint this way, and I'll screw in, probably use 3, maybe 4 screws. Clean it. I've screwed up that first side. 1, 2, 3 screws. Now I can draw this over, pop a screw in the middle, that'll hold it, and then I'll get the other 2 in. That should be a lot better. Better than that little tiny, not even 1/4 of an inch there holding that. Okay, that's the 6 screws in there. And no problem there, nice and clean. this side. That's okay. That's solid enough now. Now hopefully cleaner's not going to hold me up. I need to get in there. I just walked past this lot. Thought, what the heck? It's enough give you the heebie-jeebies, that. That's dried off nicely now. What you will notice is just a dark band running through. So I'll have to give it another coat and blend it out, but that should be okay. Like I say, bring it back to this point here, because if there's going to be any natural shadow line, it'll be off here. Oh, just this last piece to bring in now. Just feathering it off to those edges. Lightly feather that back there. That's looking okay. I did bring in the whole ceiling, but that's good. I can now get off.